Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about what if they never unblock me?
This is what you're going to do. You're going to go to their house. Mm-hmm. You're going to steal their phone.
Okay.
You're going to unblock yourself.
Perfect.
Bada bing.
I like this. It's the only way to be sure.
The only way. For legal reasons, that is a joke.
Someone's going to be like showing it to the police. And if you see right here, Coach Victoria tells me to do it.
And they're professionals.
They're the best. Don't steal their phone.
Don't do it.
Don't do any of what Victoria just said. Yeah, if somebody blocks you, it is really tough to deal with. And so many of you guys try and get around the block.
Oh my gosh. Email, LinkedIn. What else?
We see some really creative ways.
Strava.
Netflix messages.
Oh my gosh.
Unblock me or I'm changing the password.
Oh my gosh.
Is their name on the Netflix?
No.
It's really tough. We're laughing about it, but it is really hard because, everything inside you just wants to talk to that person and, at least be on some kind of decent terms, not feeling like, they don't want you in their life at all. But it's a really harsh feeling to feel like this person doesn't even want to think about me. They don't even want to look at my posts anymore. How could somebody that loved me or was with me in a relationship care so little about me as a person now?
Mm-hmm. And it can absolutely trigger those feelings of rejection. Social media is like its own little virtual world. And so it's kind of like somebody is slamming the door and locking it in front of your face virtually. And so this being somebody that you were so close to, that you would share secrets with, that you'd be so vulnerable with, it can be really difficult to go on social media and see that they've blocked you. You can't look at their profile. You don't know what's going on in their life. You feel completely ejected from their life.
Yep.
And so it is something that's really difficult to sit with. I'll say that blocking is typically an emotional reaction on your ex's part. A lot of times we assume that with blocking that our ex hates us or our ex is completely indifferent and they don't care. They've just locked the door and they've thrown the key away. But a lot of times that's not what we see. A lot of times blocking is a reaction to high, intense emotions. They are dealing with a breakup too. Seeing you come up on social media can bring up a whole slew of emotions for them that they might be trying to avoid, that might be way too painful to look at, especially if some of you, I know you post a lot, so you're constantly up on the news feed, the top of the algorithm. So that could be a response from them of saying, hey, this is too much for me to deal with right now. I need to recover from this and have some space away from this person. Yes, there's also the mute button, but some people will block altogether just to have it out of sight, out of mind.
Absolutely. But, out of sight, out of mind, is that a real thing? I don't think so, because you can't really escape your unconscious.
Yeah.
You can't escape, when you're laying your head on the pillow at night, or you're waking up in the morning, or you're in the shower daydreaming, or you drive past a place that you were together. You can't escape those things that are in your unconscious that come out of nowhere. I just think that, you can try and force it to happen, but it's still going to linger in there. I don't think you can erase those things, and I don't think you can erase those strong bonds that we, have with somebody, even if they're trying to, even if they're doing it to try and stick to this decision that they don't want to see your stories anymore, or they're so angry at you. It's like a defense mechanism where they're trying to, get through the situation and, feel like they're over it. But those feelings, if they're unprocessed, they're still going to linger, and they're going to have to deal with it one way or another.
And for them, it's a way of protecting themselves using this block. They can't avoid the grief forever. And many of you equate your ex blocking you to, they've forgotten about me, or they're deleting me from their life, or I must not matter to them. But you can't equate those two things. Yes, blocking is active. They've had to go through several buttons on Instagram or whatever platform in order to get to blocking you. So it was a decision that they made. But that doesn't mean that there's not that attachment there, that they can just delete you or remove you from their mind. It doesn't work that way. And so remind yourself of this if you are in a position where you're blocked. And with that said, you can't force your way through a block. You have to respect whatever it is that they are doing here in the space that they need. They are likely trying to protect themselves through using this block feature. And yes, it's an active decision. They've had to go through multiple buttons on whatever platform, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever you can block people on nowadays.
Yeah.
Which I think
Pretty
is a
much
lot.
everything.
Yeah, a lot of things. Except for email. I don't think you can block through email.
You can send them the junk mail. No, you can block on email.
Can you? I think you can only send them to junk mail.
I don't know. Leave a comment. I do think you can block stuff.
I don't know. Gmail? You guys, you tech
You-
people
you
find
let us
out.
know.
Yeah.
They're like, actually, I was able to get around that block.
Oh, no. And we're not trying to give you any ideas here.
No, we're not.
But my point is, yes, it's an active decision on their end, but we can't equate them blocking you to them completely erasing you from their mind. It just doesn't work that way. And because social media is all we have access to, we just make that our whole world, and that piece of information gets blown up. We assume that that's like everything when it's really just the virtual world that we're looking at, and we have no idea what's actually happening in their day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So remind yourself of that. We just have a snippet, and in this snippet, they're saying, I'm not ready to talk. So we have to be willing to respect that.
Don't go around it. Don't try and go around it. You don't want to force yourself into somebody's life. You want them to want you in their life. You know, you have to respect yourself. If you're just chasing somebody, even if you wind up getting back together for a bit, ultimately, what kind of relationship are you going to be in if they don't really want you? If they're not really wanting you in their life and you're just pushing yourself into their life, it's kind of like Urkel, you know, just pushing yourself in, pushing yourself. Ultimately, you want somebody to choose you. And I think actually in Family Matters, because Urkel kind of pushed his way into getting with Laura eventually, right? I don't know. I haven't seen the show in 30 years. But I think he finally walked away, and that's when she wanted to be with him, right?
Really? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure there was like an episode where he got like fed up and he's like, all right, I can't do this. You know, you don't want to be with me. I've tried everything. And then she wanted him. Let me know. Maybe you're a Family Matters fan. I haven't seen it in so long.
We're phoning a friend a lot on this episode.
Let's see what we get.
Yeah,
Watch
let's
the
see.
comments.
There's going to be a Family Matters fanatic who's going to correct us here in the comments.
They're gonna be like, oh yeah, Craig. Yeah. And by the way, you can block email. or can't. We'll find out. You know, when you're going through it, getting blocked feels a lot worse than it actually is. People block because they're upset. People can unblock. I constantly see, and one of the things you might see your ex do is blocking and unblocking.
Yeah.
And I do want to mention this because I almost forgot. If you have your ex block you and they unblock you, don't ask them about the block.
No, and don't try to add them or message them in the small period of time that you're unblocked.
Never ask about the block.
Yeah.
Never ask. Don't say you blocked me. How could you do that? Take the high ground. Show confidence. It's not important. Okay? Ultimately, even if you get blocked, they can unblock you at any time, at any day, or for any reason. So don't try and force it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to be able to show confidence in this situation and respect that. You know, if they're blocking you on social media, they can. They can control what pops up on their feed or how much they interact with your profile or not. So we have to be willing to accept that and allow that. And, you know, we have this fear of what if it's permanent? What if it's forever? Then what does that mean? We can't go past that. You know, we can't control if somebody blocks or unblocks you. And if that block remains, it doesn't mean that they're blocking you in real life. We know it can be harder for some of you that are in long distance breakups because you're thinking, well, if I'm blocked and I'm never going to see them, then what's going to happen? But we want you to build that confidence in dealing with uncertainty and whatever outcome is next. And we know that it's not a good existence to be checking on your ex's profile to see if today is the day that you're unblocked. So we don't want you to live in this day-to-day type of crippling anxiety surrounding it. So we figured we would talk about this topic because we know that there's a lot of fear around it. We encourage you to keep working on yourself during this time and leaning more towards acceptance. I know it's much easier said than done.
Ultimately, they have the right to block you if they want. It's hard, and painful, and obviously it's not what you want, but you can't force somebody to stay in your life, even if it's through social media. You have to respect that and respect yourself, because you wouldn't be respecting yourself by continually trying to force yourself to be in somebody's life when they don't want you there anymore. It's tough, but that's the reality of it. You got to respect yourself.
And you can't let social media overtake your life. We know that it does bring up those feelings of rejection, but there's people around you locally that are accessible, that you can interact with. And so remind yourself that you do have people around you that love you and care about you.
All right. Hopefully this one's been helpful to you. If you'd like to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.